Yo, what up, niggas? We went to go see new Transformers joint called Transformers: Rise of the Beast. Um, I don't know. I was a fan of the Transformers franchise early on. Like, I still think the first movie is like really good. Like, and I think it still kind of holds up to this day. Like, the first movie. I don't know about the rest. My favorite in the franchise is the first one and probably the third one. I really like the third one, but the rest, uh, yeah, that's tough. But yeah, what was? Do you have any? Did you like any other Transformers films before, or prior?
You're probably gonna roast me, but I like the Shia LaBeouf films. Like I
Yeah, so the first one and the third one.
yeah, I from what I remember, I like all of them. And then when he left, it started to get dry.
Yeah, I
To
mean,
me, to me at least, because I'm not really like a person that's really knowledgeable about like Transformers. I didn't watch like the cartoon like that. I would see it here and there. So when the movie came out, I didn't really have any expectations. Maybe that's why I like it.
well, I don't know. I mean, the thing about it is, Michael Bay, like, he has a specific style, and I still remember going to see the first movie in theaters, and it was just like crazy, like, you know what I mean? Just it was one of those moments, the same with like going to see Iron Man in theaters for the first time, where it's just like, yo, this is something like I never thought I'd see in my life, like, you know what I mean? Like, I still remember like the hype building up for the first film. So like, yeah, and I feel like it justified its existence. The sucky part is that the rest of them just kind of started copying the same formula, where it's like, oh, like you thought we were here before? Nah, we was here before that. Like, and then it's like, and then it's like, oh, we gotta find the McMuffin. Where's where's the McMuffin? We can't let these niggas get their hands on the McMuffin. It was like, it's literally like every single movie is the end. Even this one is still that, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But I think it does it a little bit better than the other films, just because, one, I think you're more attached to the human characters more than like fucking Mark Wahlberg has a fucking engineer. What the fuck he was like, Mark Wahlberg, yeah, stay away from Transformers films, please. Like, yeah, it was not good. But yeah, you're more invested in the characters, and I think what it what it does better than the so there was the three with Shia, and then there was two without Shia.
Yeah.
Um, so the thing that it does better, in my opinion, than the ones, then I think majority of them, is that, yeah, the characters, you feel more for the characters. um I think the action in this one was really good compared to the little bit of some of the other ones, just because it was more specifically because of the designs. They all stand out a little bit more, versus prior, they kind of just looked like, when they were fighting, it just looked like metal just clashing, like, you know what I mean? Like, and this one, it looked like they were like legit fighting. So I really enjoyed that. So I think because of those two things specifically is why I enjoyed this more than a lot of the other ones. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, what do you think about Rise of the Beast, man?
Honestly, I thought it was a lot better than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be corny. I thought it was gonna be whack, to be honest. Because I seen the Mark Wahlberg one, um, about like 3 months ago. I was like bored and I just was watching it. And when I was watching it, it was so dry to the point where I fell asleep.
Oh,
I,
that.
it was whack. I did see the Bumblebee movie too that same month. I forgot what month it was. Like it was about 3 or 2 months ago. But when I was watching it, I liked the Bumblebee movie, and it's kind of crazy because I I actually felt like I mess with the robots. I kind of view Bumblebee as like an actual human being.
Mhm.
I feel like it's like I feel like when it comes to character, if the person's like a robot, like not even human form, it's kind of hard to like feel bad for the character. unless they look like they're kind of human. For example, like Alita, obviously you're able to like feel for her because even though she is part human, she's a humanoid, but like she's still a robot, but she looks like she's human. Bumblebee, Optimus Prime, all of them, they don't look like humans, so you don't really kind of feel bad. For me personally, at least.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
I feel like the Bumblebee, the reason why I bring a Bumblebee because like the Bumblebee from that movie is in this movie, and I feel like I really felt for him for Bumblebee in that movie when stuff were happening to him. and
yeah,
and don't get me wrong though, I like Mirage. Mirage was funny. I enjoyed him as a character, and I felt bad for Mirage too. And
yeah,
I think that's what made this movie kind of special because, like you were saying, it allowed us to like be connected with, well, not just the humans but the robot. But I ain't gonna lie, I felt more connected more so to the robots more than the humans, to be honest.
in this film,
Yeah,
or
with
just in all of them, you mean?
no, just this film. Like I felt for Bumblebee and Mirage more than the actual two main characters.
Yeah, I think it's like I feel like the first thing people like would say is like, oh, like let's just have a all Transformers film, and it's not that I don't think it would work because it there I don't know if you knew this, but the original Transformers movie came out in theaters like OG like in the 80s, and it was pretty successful. So it's not like, but it was a cartoon. I mean, but still, like it's not like it's impossible. I think they're having a hard time of balancing it and like making it make sense. Like, I mean, in all reality, the two characters really didn't have anything really to do in this film. I mean, yeah, the girl was like, "Oh, I know where these markings are from. It's from here," but like, I didn't understand why like they wanted to go. Like, you know what I mean? Or like I get it. It's like, oh, I gotta save Earth or whatever. But in a movie world, yes, it makes sense. Like, oh yeah, we have to save the world. Like, but like, if it was real life, I'm like, nigga, I'm out. I don't know what you talk about. Like, I'm not superhero. Like, I'm not a Superman. Like, I'm not none of that. Like, but what's it called? I still think the two actors did a really good job in so far. Like, to the point where it's like I would want to see the I forget his name, the main character.
Noah?
Who?
Noah?
I would want to see Noah again. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't mind it, like, because I enjoyed his character. I do think, like I said in the film, like I said when we were watching the movie, I do think this movie would have been better if it focused on the brother aspect. Uh, if it was him and the little brother, and they were working together with the Transformers versus like this random girl that he didn't meet, that he just met. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel like it was probably more just because most Transformers film have like a male and a female lead. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
They want that love element into it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, even though there was no real chemistry between them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what was like, I guess, like, what was something you didn't like things you didn't like in the film, I guess.
Actually, you just brought one up. Like I felt like it was more so of a friendship. It was more so of like the Elena and Noah. It was more so of, I would say it was like trying to be a love interest, but it felt like more of a friendship.
Hmm.
Maybe that's what they were going for. But if they were going for like a love interest, they did a bad job at showing it. Um, I think the only scene I seen that kind of like led to that was when she kind of got hurt, and then he went up to her like, "Are you okay? Oh my god!" That's the only thing you saw that it showed that he really cared about her to a certain extent. And it's such a short amount of time when they barely hardly ever like kind of talked in the movie. I felt like they weren't really communicating much other than just running and pushing each other out of the way and stuff. So I think there needed to be more dialogue between the two characters. Um, I also like what I also didn't like was I didn't like how they didn't really explain much about the villain. Like, I still don't know much about the villain. I didn't really know much about the villain that they were versing. Like, you know, the henchman. I forgot his name.
Urge, I think.
Yeah, it didn't really go. I wish they kind of went more in depth about who he was rather than just have him there and then just die. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? just kind of
Oh,
get rid of him.
yeah. How I kind of envisioned it was that he doesn't really matter in the
Mhm.
grand scheme of things. Like obviously that's not an excuse.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like Loki was kind of like he was like a Loki figure to like the Thanos, like, you know what I mean? But
Mhm.
Loki was still a good character, so that's not really an excuse, you know what I mean? But yeah, I feel what you're saying. I just kind of I didn't want to know, like, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't like, oh, I want to find out about him. Like I guess my interest lied more on like the fucking planet, like Transformer, like, you know what I mean? Like that was like the best part of the whole villain thing. Like, um, the three main like antagonists were cool. I guess they had their own unique features. Like one of them was really big, and one of them can fly. But like that was like the most you got out of them. Um, but like the thing about it is like when it comes to Transformers, it's like there's only really two like
And that,
real like two like iconic villains, and it's like Starscream and Megatron, you know what I mean? And like they literally made Megatron the villain for 5 movies in a row, and it's kind of like, I get, I get it,
mhm.
but yeah, it's kind of like, I mean, but that's the thing when it comes to like movies, it's like if the script was better, the characters would be better, like,
The also the I already said dialogue between the two characters, but just dialogue in the movie in general, I feel like needed more work. Kind of
Mhm.
felt it kind of felt like bland and kind of like corny and cheesy at sometimes. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
The only person that I could say like had like somewhat like dialogue that was kind of not cheesy was Mirage, obviously, but he was just majority of the time he was joking around. Of course, that's gonna be okay. I feel like it's easier to write in jokes than to write like normal conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think, but that's the thing. I would actually kind of disagree with you. It's not like I didn't like Mirage, but he definitely felt like a joke character,
Yeah.
and I feel like a better comparison would have been like, let's say him, Mirage, and like Bumblebee. Bumblebee in the original few films, he couldn't speak, so a lot of his comedy was physical, or like he would use the radio, and I think that was that was more of a natural funny than somebody making jokes like stranger danger, like, you know what I mean? It's like I, I guess, like, you know what I mean? But what's it called? And I think like a more authentic character that made me laugh was the black dude of JPEG Mafia, you said he was from.
Hmm.
Yeah, like genuinely made me laugh versus like somebody making jokes.
Yeah, he was actually good. I don't know if this is his first acting gig, but he actually did pretty good.
Yeah, for like his role, he did
His
good.
role, yeah.
But yeah, I think so yeah, it's tough. Like the thing about it is like the movie did well in box office, so I'm assuming it's gonna get a sequel. I think, but it's like 6 movies in and 7 movies in, and like I can't just be like, well, this was like a stepping ground. The next one's gonna be better. And it's like, you know what I mean? It's like how many times can I be like, oh, the next one, this one was all right, but the next one is about to be lit. And it's like, the real reason why I was really like excited for this film was because it was like moving in a new direction, like taking like the Bumblebee thing, like kind of erasing what like the first 4 films did, which I first 5 films did, which I really am happy for, because Michael Bay, I'm not I don't want to like make it seem like I hate that nigga, but it's like he kind of like he kind of made lightning in a bottle with that first film, where it was like critically, like people liked it. It did a lot well in theaters. Like people like it did well like monetary wise. So like I felt like he kind of was forced to make the same movie over and over again to a degree. You know what I mean? Because that first Transformers movie was like literally like a summer movie blockbuster. Like a lot of things started copying the Transformers films, whether it's like the lens flare, like the cinematic camera movements and certain things like that. So yeah, it was one of those things where I feel like he caught he kind of caught lightning in a bottle, and he could only really do it one time, but they forced him to do it 5 times. So yeah, I was really like happy to see a new director, um, new main characters, I guess, and new like I guess I wouldn't say new Transformers, but just different ones than we usually have seen. Like of course Optimus, of course Bumblebee's in it, but they do shine a lot of light on like RC, like the motorcycle girl or whatever, and Mirage and shit. So yeah, I feel like this is probably like the best we could have like. This is probably the best niggas could have hoped for when it comes to like a Transformers film nowadays. Like, if this was the first Transformers film ever, I would have probably liked it more. But the fact that it's not, it's like, yeah, this is good, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm really waiting for. I guess, maybe.
It was funny because some people, when I was watching, before we went to go watch the movie, I was kind of watching what people were thinking about the movie, just to get a kind of idea what to look for. And people were saying that one thing that they wish could have been better was like the action. But I thought the action wasn't too bad. I mean, I've seen better action in Transformer movies, of course, but I thought it was pretty good. It was They made it seem like it was gonna be total ass.
I would say the best one that had the most, like the Transformers film that had the best action was probably the third one. That was the one with the giant snake Transformer going through the buildings, and the building was leaning over, and like that shit was just like, that whole movie was just crazy. Like I really liked it. I think it had good action throughout all of it. For this one, I think it needed to be more paced out because they were introducing a lot more. Like, you know what I mean? Like literally like the first 30 minutes or even 45 minutes is just a lot of build up. Like, you know what I mean? And even then the action doesn't really start until, I would say, when they go try to steal the fucking owl thing, you know, with the key in it, the McMuffin in it, you know what I mean? So that was when like the action started. So, but I think still, I really enjoyed the end, like the big battle when they were all fighting. That was pretty cool. It had a lot of cool moments. I feel like a lot of the characters got their shine. I think the little mech suit was fire. Like that was something I've seen it in like the cartoons and shit, but I wasn't really expecting them to do it in a live action, which is pretty cool because it kind of gives the humans something to do other than just running around screaming Optimus the whole time. You know what I mean? So yeah, but at the same time, with the other films, it made when the humans did things, it made it more impactful. Whenever, like, I think his name was Stanley. Whenever Stanley fought back and like act like, I remember there was one time like he shot like Starscream and like blew his head up or some shit, and I was like, oh shit, like he actually. So it's like, the fact that he did something, it was more impactful versus this one, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, overall, I think the movie was good. I don't know how rewatchable it is, and it has another mistake where it's like it's marketing the Beast Wars Transformers when they're really not in the movie. Like,
how about that? We were mentioning that we hardly even saw them.
Yeah, a lot of them were just background filler, and I think they did the exact same thing with the dinosaurs Transformers, where literally they only showed up in the last 20 minutes of the film, and it's just like, it feels like, because obviously I don't know how much you know about it, but like Beast Wars was a early 90s, one of the first CGI shows ever made. It did really well, and it was made to like not reboot the Transformers franchise, but it was like people, I guess, got tired of that, and they wanted to try something new. So that's why his name is Optimus Primal. It's like he's supposed to, it was supposed to be like a like a continuation or a reboot, and then it did well, and then it just so happens that because people liked it, they added it into continuity, because in all reality, it doesn't make sense why they would transform into animals or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? But yeah, it did really well. So I think a lot of the hype for this film was for that, and you didn't really get that. So it's kind of like, like it's like I wouldn't. It's not like for Beast Wars fans, it's not like I'd recommend this film. Like, there's nothing there. Like oh, like you see all your favorite Beast Wars characters. Like, you don't really. They don't. There's no, and they'll probably never be in any other film again. You know what I mean? So it's like, I could only recommend this movie is if it's like you wanna like go and watch like a summer movie, like, you know, there's action, comedy, that type of thing, versus more like, oh, this is for the fans. Like, I wouldn't really say that.
And this is a reboot, correct?
Yes, it's a reboot. Yeah. Bumblebee was the style of the reboot, pretty much.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because in the old fucking films, like, he didn't come until fucking Shia LaBeouf found him. You know what I mean? But then the Bumblebee that took place in like the 80s or something like that. That's why this takes place in the 90s.
Okay.
But yeah.
Does this mean that Megatron, like, they can come out with a whole new?
Yeah, with a whole new Megatron.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's weird that they would first start off with like the planet Transformer. That seems kind of big.
Big, you know? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because just in the movie, in the other movies, they were like kind of like hinting,
They were building up to that.
Yeah.
But I think it was hard because they were building up to that, and then it flopped, so they kind of just threw him into this film. You know, that's kind of how I feel.
But he didn't really make a full-on appearance though.
Nah, I'm still waiting to see a giant fucking planet transform. I'm still waiting to see that.
I think that was the goal. It was trying to like show like, hey, this guy's gonna probably be like the big villain. And when he actually gets released, because he didn't really get released, right? He didn't.
He didn't. Yeah. But who knows? What's it called? So what would where would you place this in the Transformers films? I guess.
Also with the old ones.
Out of the 7 films, so there's the first Transformers, there's the second one with the fucking Transformers with the balls hanging out and shit, right? The two
I kind of remember as the first one and the third one.
It was the Revenge of the Fallen. That's the second film, Revenge of the Fallen, and then the third one was the Dark Side of the Moon, which is I really liked. And then the fourth one was Age of Extinction with the fucking dinosaurs, and then the fifth one was the Last Night.
So I didn't see the dinosaur one. I'd never seen that one.
That's the first Mark Wahlberg one. So which Mark Wahlberg one did you watch?
I seen one with Mark Wahlberg in it. So
there's only 2 with Mark Wahlberg: The Last Night and the Age of Extinction.
I think it was the Age of Extinction.
That's the one with the dinosaurs. So did you see that?
Yeah, I did. But remember, I told you I fell asleep.
Oh yeah, they literally show up the last 20 minutes. So yeah,
I literally fell asleep watching that movie. But if I was to say, if I was to say right, where I lie it at, I do like the Bumblebee movie more than this movie. So I would say it would have to be in 5 for me, slot 5 for me. Because I like old movies. I like the old, like, so I like, so I would say 2 would be the first one, 1 would be the second, and then 3 would be the third, and then Bumblebee, and then that movie. The Mark Wahlberg movies, like, I don't really care about them. They can be the last 2.
Okay. For me, I'd definitely put the first one first, just because it was the first to do it, and I think it did it well. And then the second, I would put the third movie over Bumblebee, just because I guess you're just more invested in the characters and shit. Like, Bumblebee is kind of a whole new with the whole new character, whole new plot and shit. Very not world ending plot, which I really like. I like when it's not like, oh, the world's about to end. You know what I mean? When it's more simple. So, but I think movie wise, the third one goes over Bumblebee, but like character, like plot, all that goes for Bumblebee. So it would be first, second, Bumblebee, and then this one would be number 4. Yeah, and then the rest. Yeah, and then the rest, pretty much. But we got to talk about the ending. G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
That has a lot of potential, but it also they also made the movie Snake Eyes, which I bet you didn't even remember they made that movie.
I watched that movie.
Movie was not good.
Yeah, it was straight. It was like I give it like that, like a 6.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So it's like they made. I really like the first G.I. Joe movie. I think I seen it in theaters, and I really liked it. I thought it was cool. I like Channing Tatum. He was good. The Wayne's brother nigga was in that bitch. That shit was funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Second one with The Rock. I know you've been. I bet you haven't even seen the second one with The Rock.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that shit
I didn't really care about it, to be honest.
not good at all. Like that movie was not good at all. And then Snake Eyes wasn't good either, which has so much potential. Like a ninja that doesn't really speak. Like that whole thing could have been good, but no, they had to have his mask off the whole movie. Him speak the whole movie, and then he puts on the mask at the end, and it's like, get the fuck out of here, bro.
You think it's hard to make a movie with someone that can't talk?
No,
because they did that with Ryan Gosling easily.
I think it's what's it called? Not it's a challenge, but I think it's definitely something that could be done.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think
they could have even gave him like a little speaking device thing. I don't know, like him typing into something.
I mean,
I don't know.
That's the thing. It's like, so there's movies where it's like there's 2 characters and one doesn't really speak that much. Like he doesn't have. It's not like he has to say mute the whole movie, but I'm saying like he could. I think it was pushed too much for I guess for that actor. Like it's like he never wore the mask. He's always speaking, and it just felt more like a regular action movie, and then at the end he just threw on the ninja mask. You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like if they gave me $1 million and some time, I could write a way better film. That shit.
In Snake Eyes, in the cartoons, he didn't speak at all either.
No, he didn't. No. That's his thing. I think I'm not 100% sure, but I think he had his like throat slit or something, so he couldn't speak, some shit like that. But or like his master told him like never to speak, so he doesn't speak, some shit. But I think it has a lot of pros and a lot of cons for these 2 franchises to join. But I think it was bound to happen. Like I've been thinking about these 2 franchises coming together for years now, because Hasbro, they own a lot of the toy franchises like He-Man, G.I. Joe, Transformers. So it was bound to happen, like them mixing together. You know what I mean? It just sucks because neither of them. I guess the only one that really has its foot on the ground is Transformers, but even then it's still like slippery slopes for that film because the next one can be ass. Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
And G.I. Joe never really got a chance to really flourish. Like the first one was all right, like it was solid, but it wasn't great, you know. But yeah, I think the potential there is really good, like for a cool like G.I. Joe Transformers crossover movie, like, you know, government, aliens, like I could see it, you know.
And I've been saying stuff like this for a while. Like they should make action heroes kind of combined in a movie.
Expendables.
No, that's different. I'm talking about like actual like characters like from different worlds. Like I don't know, like maybe like the Transporter. Like they basically did that with Fast and the Furious, right? But they called him someone else, basically Shaw. Like I was like, what are 2 good movies you can combine together? Like action hero movies, like
I mean, there's no action hero movies nowadays. Like,
Yeah, that's
what?
what I'm saying. It's not really.
It's
It's
not
not.
like the '90s. Like back in the day, you get RoboCop. You get
Like,
like,
you're probably gonna roast me, right? Because no one really knows this movie. No one really watches this movie like that. But Chronicles of Riddick, right? Imagine there was like a Chronicles of Riddick versus the Predator or some shit like that. Like I don't know, make it kind of.
they made an Alien versus Predator film though.
I'm hip, but that's just an example.
Uh,
You know,
I know.
this is an example.
Like, yeah.
Like
No, nobody knows who Riddick is, bro.
but that's the only thing I can think of. Like,
I know. First thing I went to was like Neo, maybe Neo and like somebody else. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's when I think of action heroes. Like there really isn't that these days. Like, you know what I mean? But like back in the '90s, there was a whole like Rambo and all these niggas. Like, you feel me? It's not like that. I mean, well, you gonna have the fucking Captain America, and like, you feel me? Like, it's like, yeah. But anyways, what would you rate the film? Beast, Rise of the Beast.
Rise of the Beast, I would rate it to 7.
7. Okay. I want to go 7.5, but just because like I liked it more than I thought I would. But even then, it's kind of like I take everything in hindsight, like whether it's like movies are rewatchable, like that's a big thing, or like the feelings I had while watching the film, or like, you know, like, or like how engaged I am after watching it, like if I want to really talk about it and shit. So yeah, I guess I would give it a 7 as well. I think that it definitely has a lot of potential, but it's like a 7 movie potential is crazy.
And the reason why I give it a 7 is because of the ending. That kind of excited me.
Yeah, for the like it was a good ending, like excited for future type shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. Oh, but yeah, that's all we got, man. Obviously, if you're a fan, you would already watched it, but you're not gonna listen to us and watch it. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a summer movie, but you'd probably go watch Spider-Verse over this shit.
100%. What?
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah. That's all we got. We out.
See y'all later.
Glamour of wearing diamonds.
Diamonds bring
Status.
elegance and prestige. Their brilliance makes
Brilliance.